If you are the student of BS English Literature first semester, then you should know the major forms of literature. There are three major forms: poetry, prose, drama. I'm going to tell you the brief definitions of these forms in detail. These forms also have some subcategories in it, so we will also discuss these subcategories. I'm going to tell you the brief definition of these in simple words so that you can have a great idea of it. So let's start. Poetry. So poetry is a form of literary art which uses aesthetic and rhythmic qualities of language. What does it mean? To evoke meanings evoke meanings. Okay. So what does poetry means? Poetry means that it is the literary art which uses aesthetic. Aesthetic means that those type of qualities which evokes emotions, feelings, and rhythmic qualities, those which has songs, which has a rhythm, a specific type of rhythm. These type of languages, qualities of language is in poetry. Poetry has traditionally been distinguished from prose. It is distinguished from prose by its being set in verse. Poetry is always set in the verses, whether these verses has any rule or it is a free verse, but it is in verses. Prose is cast in sentences, poetry in lines. The major difference. The syntax. Syntax means the set of rules which make sentences. Of prose is dictated by meaning, whereas that of poetry is held across meter or the visual aspect of the poem. It means that the poetry rules, poetry rules is to held across the meter. I will tell you about the meter, about the syntax in detail in other videos. You just have to get a brief idea of it. Or the visual aspects of the poem. It means that you have to write a poem in such a way that it has some meter, it has some rhythm, or it has some visual aspects. It means that it has some specific type of feelings and specific type of emotions in it. So this is the poetry. We are not going into the history of poetry because it is too complicated and it is not much relevant. So only definition. Now prose. Prose is a form of language that possesses ordinary syntax and natural speech rather than rhythmic structure. Prose, as you know, it is a form of language that has ordinary syntax, means that it is simple sentences, simple language and natural speech. There is no complications. In poetry there are complications. There are special type of language which has special emotions and special thoughts. But prose uses ordinary syntax and natural speech. Along with its measurement in sentences rather than lines. It has sentences, not lines. Sentences means that it has proper verb, object, and subject. Lines means that there is no proper object or subject or verb in it. It differs from poetry. On the historical development, no, we are not going into the history. Now prose types. Novel. It is a long fictional prose narrative. It is a long and it is fictional. It was forms close relation to real life, then differentiated it from the chivalric romance. In most European languages, the equivalent term is Roman, indicated by the proximity of the forms. Okay, so novel is actually a long fictional book. You have seen a lot of books, or you have seen a lot of fiction books. So these fiction books are actually novels. It is fiction means it is not related to the real life. Doesn't include real life elements in it, but it is more related to real life. It tells you about the social issues. It tells you about the society. It tells you about the humans. It tells you about the real life. But it is not actually the real life. It is not the story of actual people. It is not a story of actual societies. It has elements in it, but it is still fiction. It is still imaginative. The second is novella. Is purely quantitative terms. The novella exists between the novel and short story. Okay, novel is almost 50,000 words book. and novella is mostly around 30,000, 25 to 30,000 words short book. It is related to the novel. It is also fictional. It is also narrative. It is also related to real life, but it is small than novel. Now, short story. Short story is as a literary form is how to or whether one should distinguish it from any short narrative has also been contested origin. Okay, short story is the one which is also fictional, or it can be non-fictional. It also has imaginative elements, or it can be the real, and it has all the qualities, all the things of novels and novella, but it is short. It can be around 5,000 words. So it will be a short story. 5 to 10,000 words are the short story. Now, drama. Drama is literature intended for performance. Drama is that type of literature which is written for performances. There will be dialogues in it. It will be like dialogues. In novels and novella and short stories, there are dialogues too, but they are mostly paragraphs. There are dialogues in the paragraphs. There is other elements in the novella too, except for the dialogues. But in drama, everything is related to dialogues. There will be dialogues in it. One has said this, one has said this, one has said this, in this form. So it is the main difference from novel and novella. Drama is always written for the performances. This form is often combined with music and dance, as in opera and musical theatres. Thus, in the musical theatres were more common in the past than now. But the drama was written so that there can be music and dance in it too. A play is a subset of this form. Play that means the performances which players do in front of the audience, referring to the written dramatic work of a playwright that is intended for performance in a theatre. It is written so that it can be performed in the theatre. Greek drama exemplifies the earliest form of drama. You should remember this thing, that Greek drama is the earliest form of drama, which we have substantial knowledge. Tragedy. Greek drama was famous for its tragedies, its dramatic genre, its tragedy. So it is the earliest form of drama. Television, film, and radio literature have been adopted to print or electronic media. The novels which are converted into dramas are also written in the drama form so that it can be performed by the actors. So this is the drama. These are the forms of literature. I will tell you all about it in detail in the next video, so stay tuned with me. Thank you so much.